So Tab, you really are Victor Mama. After all that, you really are Victor Mama, and y'all don't see Big Sleepy going in and out of the cellar. He's like a linebacker. Kay calls him the blind side. Y'all don't see him going in and out of the cellar. You guys, what's happening in From? If you guys are new here, my name is Ashley, and this is My Sweet Perspective, where I give my take on all things TV and movie related. And y'all know I am here to put you on. We are back to talk the penultimate episode for season 3 from episode 9, Revelations, chapter 1. Listen, the search for Fatima continues at this point, right? Because we know that Big Sleepy spirited her away. Ellis and Boyd, what should we do? Where should we go? Oh my goodness, Fatima's out there. Boyd, slow down, 10 speed. Just relax. She's going to be okay, all right? We'll find her eventually at some point. Meanwhile, we see her down in the cellar and she's drinking her bottled blood out of a mason jar, all right, and letting it drip down like she's from the damn Vampire Diaries. And I don't know why we had to make it so gruesome. Big Sleepy, you couldn't have gotten her a straw, possibly, to keep it a little cuter. Fatima, you're not a prisoner here. This is for your own good. And Fatima says, listen, I've heard from Kimono Dragon and she's bad. And Big Sleepy's like, no, she's not. The baby was hungry. You weren't feeding it. That's the only reason you took Pilly, Earth Enemy #1, out in the first place. That's the only reason this happened. Big Sleepy's really campaigning. Once we do this, we can all go home, Fatima. Just go along with the program. And again, why do you have her drinking it like that? You've done everything we didn't think you were capable of, Big Sleepy. You drew your own blood. You had the little bag. You put it in jars. You did all that, but you couldn't give her a straw. Again, just gross. Meanwhile, Jim goes and talks to Randall, aka the Brotherhood of the Night's Watch, and is basically like, what you doing with my child? And Randall says, how about you be a good dad and teach her how to drive? That was the gist of the conversation. Again, Jim trying to blame everybody else for his deficits as a parent, in my opinion. Boyd and Ellis go to the clinic. Boyd and Ellis, they're in the woods, again, still searching, and Boyd has a fit, right? Because we know that he has Parkinson's, and apparently it's developing and spreading because now his leg went out, and Ellis knows nothing of the sort. And so Boyd has to have a heart-to-heart with him. Listen, this is what's happening. I've known for a while. Be prepared. And Ellis is like, let me take you to the clinic. And Boyd is like, no. And of course, Ellis wants to know, does anyone know? And he says, yes, Mullet, aka Christy. She knows. Whatever. And then he goes into this whole thing about Tien Chin and how this place is trying to break him. And this is just one more step in the process. They made him watch Tien Chin. And Boyd, we know, and you are breaking, Buki. You are. Next we see Donna in the colony house, and she's reminiscing on the days when love was new, right? She's thinking about Fatima and her entry and the birthdays, the celebrations that they've had since she's been there. Because now her knowing the truth, she didn't know what she was going to do with it. Do I tell the people and they turn on Fatima, or what? Later in the episode, we discover that Donna says, I'm not going to say anything about it to them because of the place that she holds, not only in my heart, but in their heart. And then Boyd has to drop the news that Fatima is now missing. And so eventually they'll call a town meeting. And of course, we'll get into all of that later. Jim and Tab have a conversation. Now he's on an apology tour. He's trying to make his amends. Jimmy, why are you making amends now, Pinocchio? Why now? All right. But Tab, I was wrong. Whatever you're trying to do, I have your back 110%. I know where I've been lacking, and I just want to take accountability for my little part. And I feel like it's a little bit too late. And Tab says, there's something Julie's not telling us. Oh, really? No, Sherlock. What do you know about your kids? Like this episode is really sending me, because let's not pretend like you guys have been present parents for the past couple years, apparently. Let Julie tell it. And now, oh, I just know something's wrong. How do you know now? Now you have all of the skills of observation. Save it for somebody else who believes it, right? Now we're still talking to Boyd. We're in the sheriff's station, and Ellis, they're talking. And then we hear from the windows, the monsters are talking big-ish. The nurse monster is talking the most-ish. And now Boyd gonna pull out his blicky and be like, you want it, you can get it. Boyd, the monsters ain't studying you, and we know that your blicky is not going to do anything of the sort. It's not going to do anything to help you. Just cut it out. Then we have Sarah, and Sarah's hearing the voices now. Stop it, rolling around on the floor. And girl, we get it. Fatima's trying to escape. She cuts Big Sleepy, but she ain't getting out of there. She is not getting out of there. So much so to the point that Big Sleepy takes it on himself. After we have the town meeting, we announce Fatima is missing and that everybody's going to jump in to try to save her. he partners up with Ellis to go on a search to find Fatima, knowing he's got her in the cellar. Ellis, what if everything's okay? What if she's just on the other side of town at the park like my friend was? What if she's making it better for us and from? Ellis is like, I ain't trying to hear all that. I want my wife back. I already lost my mama. And Big Sleepy don't care. His resolve is unchanging. Right? He does not give a damn. He is going to follow Kimona Dragon to the pits of hell, is what it seems like. And so Sarah, of course, tells Boyd before the town meeting, listen, they're telling me that she's taken. She didn't go of her own free will and volition, but she's close. And the sad thing is whatever they're going to do is going to be done before anybody can get to her. All right. And so, again, that's what's communicated to the townspeople. Acosta's out there thinking that she's top cop, and Donna has to tell her, listen, you are not that girl here, ma'am. I don't know what you have going on in your life or world or your little badge or whatever, but prove yourself in another way. Let's not do it right now. Let's not try to cast all these aspersions on Sarah, because in this instance, that's not what happened. She's not it. And I'm not telling you why. I'm going to say, just live a little longer. Just experience Fromville for a little bit longer and you'll figure it out. Victor, meanwhile, is spazzing out, losing control, slapping the dog mess out of himself, grabbing axes. And of course, Acosta wants to run everything. Victor, where are you going with the axe? I'm going to chop down the tree. And so he's going to the bottle tree to chop it down because he said this brings nothing but chaos and hell in the From. So I'm going to get rid of it. Now we see a boy in white, but this is not the boy in white that we've seen before. This is an aged up boy in white. And he said, listen, I tried to tell Chris back in the day. He didn't want to listen. I'm done trying with y'all. Y'all have to understand it for yourself. And he said, but you were my friend. I am your friend. I'm not about to do this with you, but don't chop down this tree, Victor. I'm telling you that. Do not chop down this tree. Y'all are going to need it. Now, again, y'all know my thoughts on the boy in white, being that he is the only one of these Ankui children that seems to not be dirty and broken in whatever way. So I'm curious about who sacrificed him, if he was able to escape, what sort of iteration we're seeing, because it does feel like he's part of the Ankui crew just because he's the kid, he's the white. The only difference is now he's aged up, and of course his white is immaculate, but he says don't do it. Meanwhile, we see that Julie and Tab have went on their mission because everybody's divided up for the search. And they go out and she starts hearing the beckoning of the Ankui. Julie opens up and says, I was down there. I heard you talking to Victor. I heard your voice and I thought I was going to be lost forever. So now we see Tab being called away by the Ankui children, and she and Julie are going to ride out together to see what that's all about. We already know. Jade is in the tree and he sees Chris and Jasper. And before he can even really have a full conversation with them, Henry, Victor's brother daddy, who I think is another op in this situation, who are you talking to? Don't worry about who I'm talking to. Mind your business. That's all. Just mind your business. And so they start talking, and Jade ultimately tells him, you're wanting Victor to be this other person. You're talking about how he thinks this wooden doll is going to be, and me talking to myself, but you don't understand the impact of living in the From and what that has done to him over decades being here. He survived, and that's enough. He's Tarzan here, and you're coming at him. He's ruler of the damn jungle, and you're coming in here because he can't use a fork. Get off his back. Leave him alone and just see what's going to happen with that. Jim now is making amends with Ethan because, again, he's on this apology tour, and he's like, Ethan, taking Julie to the ruins, that wasn't your fault. And how could it be his fault, Jim? You're the one at fault for everything because, again, your kids were left unattended. So, but everything's fine. This place will make you blame yourself for everything. And it sounded like projection to me because I don't think Ethan was going through all of that warranted that whole thing. How about you just be a dad on a regular basis? And then you wouldn't have to go on these apology tours, Jim. While they're there and about to head out, Thomas is on the intercom, honey, on the two-way radio. And he's going to play around. He going to laugh. He going to do all that. Ethan says, let's go, daddy. That's really not Thomas. And baby, we know. And again, I don't care. So now we are towards the very end of the episode, and Julie and Tab have followed the Ankui crew, and now she sees that they led her to Victor, and Victor is continuing to spaz. And of course, she's been mothering him for the past 3 episodes. And now we know why, because she is his mama. Or at least an iteration of his mother, because as she's hugging him, she remembers the night that his mama died. She remembers it. She can see it. And we actually get the visual of her running in the woods. And she's like, it's not possible. And now my question that I would pose to you, what does this mean? So if Tabitha is, what was her name? Not Eloise. Who, y'all know what damn Victor's mama's name was. So if she's her, what does that mean for the rest of them? Who is everybody else? Because if she's reincarnated, clearly other people are reincarnated as well. Drop your theories, but no spoilers in the chat. If you've already seen the finale, don't do that. I'll delete the comment, but drop it below. Let me know what you think. And don't forget, every Tuesday night, we're talking From. We will be live to dive super deep, but let me know what you thought of this episode. Did it give you everything you needed? Were you here for all of it? Are you here for Jim's apology tour? What does it mean? What is it all about? And we see that Kimono Dragon has visited Fatima down there now. What's happening? What's about to happen? Is Kimono Dragon Lady good or is she bad? I want to know. Drop everything below, you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. But first, make sure that you're subscribed. Hit the notification bell. We have way more shows coming up. I just watched Dune. I'll be dropping that. Silo will be out. We'll be talking about those things weekly. So don't forget, hit the notification bell, subscribe, like, and comment. Share as well. But you guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.